What started as a glittering company holiday celebration quietly turned into the night everything finally made sense. My wife's office party was loud and polished, packed with forced smiles, expensive clothes, and conversations that felt rehearsed. Glasses clinked, laughter echoed too hard, and the air smelled like money and ego. I stood beside her with a drink I barely touched, watching how naturally she blended in, like this world was built for her. Her boss, already loose from too much alcohol, was soaking up attention like it was his birthright. Power sat comfortably on his shoulders, and he wore it proudly. Then he leaned in close to me, wearing a smug smile that said he thought he owned the room, and maybe her too. Loud enough for everyone to hear, he said, "So tell me, man, what's it like always finishing behind me?" The room exploded with laughter. That wasn't the worst part. The real cut came when my wife laughed too. Not an awkward chuckle. Not an uncomfortable smile. She laughed freely, easily, like the joke hadn't sliced straight through our marriage. I felt eyes lock onto me from every direction, people waiting to see if I'd snap, shrink, or embarrass myself for their entertainment. Instead, I lifted my glass and took a slow, deliberate sip. Something unexpected settled over me, not anger, not humiliation, but clarity. That moment wasn't meant to break me. It was meant to reveal everyone exactly as they were. The laughter dragged on longer than it should have. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Others smiled like this was just harmless office humor. My wife avoided my gaze, still smiling, saying nothing. My mind replayed every warning sign I'd ignored. Late nights she blamed on work. Messages from her boss that crossed lines too casually. Small moments of disrespect I'd swallowed to keep the peace. Getting angry would have been easy, loud, dramatic, and exactly what he wanted. Rage would have handed him control. So I waited. I let the laughter die naturally, allowed silence to stretch until it made people uneasy. Calm, when it arrives uninvited, carries weight. I placed my glass down gently, met his eyes, and spoke clearly, steady enough for the entire room to hear. "How does it feel?" I asked, evenly. "Knowing I'll be the one owning this company soon." The words landed heavier than shouting ever could. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then the music abruptly stopped mid-song, maybe coincidence, maybe instinct, and the entire room fell into a stunned hush. Smiles froze. Glasses hovered inches from lips. My wife snapped her head toward me, her face draining of color, like she just remembered a secret she hoped would stay buried forever. Her boss's grin vanished, replaced by disbelief. He forced out a single laugh, hoping the crowd would save him. No one did. My tone made it clear I wasn't bluffing. Silence has a way of amplifying truth, and in that moment, truth roared louder than his insult ever had. People exchanged nervous glances, realizing they were standing in the middle of something far bigger than a party joke. My wife hissed my name under her breath, sharp and frightened, but I didn't look at her. Her boss tried to recover, asking if I thought I was being funny. I answered calmly, "Business takeovers don't require humor, just preparation." The tension thickened. A few senior executives shifted uncomfortably, clearly aware of private conversations most hadn't heard yet. My wife's earlier laughter echoed in my head, but my expression stayed neutral. This wasn't revenge. It was timing. For months, I'd observed quietly, gathered information, and waited. That insult didn't shame me, it handed me the opening I needed. And openings favor those who stay composed. My wife finally realized this wasn't something she could laugh away. Confidence melted into panic as she understood how much I'd been building while she underestimated my silence. Her boss cleared his throat, trying to reclaim authority, but it rang hollow. Real power doesn't bounce back once exposed. I told him we'd continue this conversation privately very soon. The meaning was clear enough to make his jaw tighten. Around us, people suddenly found reasons to look elsewhere. The balance in the room had shifted completely, and everyone felt it. I never raised my voice. I never fired back insults. I let certainty do the work. Calm confidence terrifies people who rely on dominance, and that fear spread fast, quieter and stronger than any outburst. I took my coat, nodded politely to a few stunned faces, and walked out. The silence followed me. No laughter. No applause. The party ended without anyone announcing it. Outside, the cold night air felt clean, almost liberating. My phone buzzed immediately, my wife, upset, demanding explanations. I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say yet. Inside, egos were collapsing, alliances were shifting, and anxiety was settling in. I sat in my car for a moment, breathing evenly. I didn't feel victorious or angry, just finished. Finished being underestimated. Finished being second. That single sentence hadn't destroyed anything. It only exposed what was already coming. The following days were chaos behind closed doors. Phone calls flew. Emergency meetings filled calendars. Whispers replaced confidence. My wife confronted me, swinging between fury and fear, accusing me of humiliating her. I told her quietly that her laughter had done that long before I spoke. What frightened her most wasn't the scene, it was realizing how little she truly knew about me when I finally stopped holding back. Her boss avoided me entirely, sending others in his place. Once authority cracks, it rarely heals cleanly. I learned that respect isn't begged for, it's enforced through boundaries and preparation. That night was meant to be his stage. I simply rewrote the ending, and everyone there understood it. Looking back, that holiday party changed everything. He mocked me. The crowd laughed. My wife laughed too, convinced I was harmless, quiet, and easy to overlook. I stayed composed, spoke once, and let reality do the damage. The music stopped. Smiles disappeared. Silence fell because everyone sensed something permanent had shifted. I didn't win an argument, I destroyed an illusion. That night taught me that restraint is stronger than rage, and preparation outperforms bravado. Some silences are awkward. Others rewrite lives. That one reshaped every relationship in that room, including my marriage. And from that evening forward, no one ever questioned again who truly came in second.